Hello and welcome to the Dream Receiver Show, where it's all about wellness, kindness, and business. And really excited today to have Joseph Ghabi on our show. He is a best-selling author, speaker, and he has his own radio show, or had his own radio show.
Yes.
And a podcast show. The name of his book is The Blueprint of Your Soul. It is Discover Yourself and Your Blueprint Destiny. Welcome, Joseph. I'm so honored and privileged to have you here. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me with you, Diane, and I'm very privileged to be here.
It's wonderful.
I moved from New York City to Montreal, and in Montreal, event helped me to start into meditation, to get myself into meditation. I started that, and somebody presented to me 2-book encyclopedia for an author in numerology. I don't read. I never read a book in my life because every 10 pages I go to sleep. So I said, I'm not gonna read 2 books. So I put them under my pillow to go over them at night. And at the same time, I went into meditation to see if I had done numerology in a past life. And I found out I did few of them. So I chose one of them and I started downloading. And from those books, I only took the formulas, because why I need to invent something is already invented. I am not into numerology for predicting your future, because you should know your future basically, because you signed a soul agreement with that. For that, I'm here to see where you're stuck into your blueprint. This is why you're not seeing where you're supposed to be going. There's a big difference. Because most people, they think they are into their destiny, but they are not. If you are into your destiny, you should have your 4 pillars balanced: the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. There's many people who are happy in one area, 2 areas, even joyful in 1, 2, 3 areas, but they're miserable in one area. That means they're not fulfilled. And our birthright, all of us, no exception, is to be happy, joyful, and fulfilled.
Okay, so you say destiny. So is my destiny already set? There's nothing I can do about that?
No, you can change it. You can change. It depends where you are today in your life. So if you had something happen into your life, you figure it out, you might say, this is my destiny, to teach about that, which is good, but that's not a calling. There's a big difference. The soul has a purpose. When you signed your agreement with your soul, you signed into a purpose for the soul to be accomplishing. Look at it from general term. If a soul coming here with a purpose, what's the purpose for me if I'm working at McDonald's all my life? There must be something bigger, but unfortunately we got stuck behind an experience we happen in our life, and that's where we're not getting out of that, completely out.
Right, and I had felt those feelings when I worked in the corporation. I felt, first of all, I was, they did a restructuring, so then I went to another corporation and really felt that I did not belong, and it was like there was something else calling me. And that's why I started this business, because I really believe in receiving your dream and going for it, and also give. And that's another reason why this is so in alignment with our show. If people aren't recognizing that, though, what if they don't? They just say, well, I've always been told that this is the only way to do it, and living kind of someone else's...
Technically, anything you've been told is wrong. Because not even your parents have a clue who you are. Did you have a manual with you when you came in? No. They start predicting according to themselves, how they see themselves, or whatever they miss doing, they push it on you to do it. But that's not true. You might be totally a different person, but you don't want to be a doctor because your dad is a doctor. I want to be something else. So they've been forcing on you an ideology, doesn't mean it's true. So we should do reading of our own blueprint. I do advise people to do it 3 times in a lifetime.
Okay,
It won't change, by the way.
So once you, okay, that's what I was going to ask. So once you've done that, you found out the blueprint, and you're going, oh my goodness, my name is not coming out.
Yeah.
I've had a friend who changed her first and last name and everything to do that. She also helped me when I was pregnant with my first child and told me, okay, if you want her to be good this way or that way. But when I did your course, you more so said it should be what's natural, what comes to you, something
That's
to
what,
that.
that's what I advise.
Yes.
And the reason I advise that is because your soul decided on the date of birth. Already knows what time has to be born because it already chose your parents. So I would leave it to my mom or dad or whoever can influence them, that the soul send a message to them for a name. I didn't do my kids. I could have done, right?
Right.
I told my wife, I said, go do whatever name you want to choose. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I had the name already chosen. However, she said, if you spell it, if you spell it this way, this will be the
Yes.
consequence if you spell it this way.
For me, I don't like to change the experience where the soul is wanting that experience. Because many times I had people who were pregnant and the doctors told them that kid has to be born on that day, and they'd never been born on that day. They contact me and said, do you have the name of the kid? They said, yeah. I take the name and I tell them when that kid's supposed to be born, and it was born on the same date I told them. Because it must be all in harmony.
Right. So if somebody was to have a planned C-section and they pick a date,
it's all planned.
they would come to you and say, oh, should I?
If they have the name, they always give you two alternative dates.
Yes,
There will be one of the
Oh, I
2
see.
days would be the right date.
I see.
Because you cannot have somebody's destiny and their name are not congruent with each other. Or they're completely fighting each other. It cannot be that. The soul is not that bad to come bringing you with so much anger that your destiny is going to the left and your character is going to the right.
And that's where that whole number 11 came in when we were having that talk at the eWomen event. Me and my husband always come across the number 11 and 311. There's a big story about something that happened that couldn't have been a coincidence with that whole number, but and so then I came up to you and I said, oh my gosh, this number 11 is always coming up for me. And then you said the 11 could be a 2. Can you explain a little bit?
Because you see, by the way, we have a lot of old souls on this planet today. Lots of them. Because the consciousness for the first time in human history changed from 3rd dimension to the 5th dimension. Now, there's a lot of people with the 11, 22, 33, 44, etc. So these are the master numbers. Now, you cannot be a master of anything if you don't master your lower vibration. And 11, the lower vibration is 1, and 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So if you don't master your 1 and your 2, then kiss goodbye, your 11. It's not going to show up. Because with 11 as a master, and you want to be speaking in front of people, it's not going to happen that when you speak in front of people, somebody poke you with the 2 and you jump on stage. Somebody asks you one question that hit the trigger of your 2 that you never addressed, and then you flipped. And it happened with me. I've seen it before. So somebody, I advised him to do it and flipped in front of 55 people.
So how do you master your 2?
It's to address whatever was the problem of it. Because the 2 is about being oversensitive. So if I tap into something that has oversensitivity issue with you, because 2 is how you handle relationship with people, any people. Not only the one close to you, everybody, including your clients. So if you have a trigger sitting with your 2, because, for example, in your name, if I can close my eyes and see your name, yes, you don't have to. That means it is part of your experience.
I do have a 2 or I don't have a 2?
You don't have it too.
So it's not part of my experience.
It is part of experience,
is.
the negative side of it.
Oh, because I don't have a
it.
2.
Unless you have
a
unless you have a middle name.
Okay,
If you don't have a middle name, then
I do.
if
Yeah.
it has the vibration of that 2, then it's okay. If you don't have it, if you have it and you still have a problem with your 2, then I will ask you to bring me the 2 back to ease up the tension, because you it's like you're sabotaging yourself and having an extra experience for nothing. And we all do that.
Right.
Now
But it's
imagine
fine.
that too, you have it piled up, very much piled up. Now, don't you think that too affect you in the business?
It could.
Because there's no business, it's you the business. So if your 2 is not working, I bet you whatever you want, your company name probably is missing 2 also, out of the blue, without even thinking about it, because we need to experience the experience of it. So many people, when they choose their name for their companies, they choose them based on their weakness, not their strengths, because that name is cute.
Or it has a memory.
Of it has something. Well, you know what I mean. So most of the time, when I see clients, is they only make a mistake of that, or when they start opening the business. That's a huge opening the business. If you started the business on the wrong energy, are you gonna be going in a smooth operation, or you're gonna go climbing a whole mountain? That's a big difference.
So easy and effortless, or a struggle.
It's a choice what we make.
Right.
So life is simple, we complicate it. That's where we have to understand that. And nobody thinks, everybody keep walking. Hopefully I don't break my neck somewhere along the way.
You find that has a lot to do with the ego part of it, and can numerology be
No, it's
anything
not,
involved with that at all?
It's not ego, we're not educated about those things. Everybody thinks numerology is a woo-woo, but numerology is your life, basically. It's not a woo science. It's been over 5,000 years. So many civilization works about it. So it's not like it's yesterday started. It's been all over the place in many countries at the same time. So how can it be a woo-woo stuff? But numerology is basically your life. And we're in denial to find out who we are.
Right. And then I found out that your number, that 38, is that?
My own?
Is that because this is a year ago I took the course, but it was 30, something about 38?
Mm-hmm.
You?
I'm
right?
33.6.
Oh, 33.6, okay. And then your helper, Stephen? Stefan. Yeah, he helped me and he said, oh, your son is the same.
Yeah, he is
as
33.6.
33.6.
Yeah.
So this number is a real master number.
This is the 33. If it's open again, you need to master your 3, your 6, and then you open the 33. Otherwise, it won't open. So the 33 are teachers of all teachers. So they better handle their 3, which is expressing their emotions, and their 6 is about taking responsibility first, before being able to be a teacher of all teachers. That's the difference.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you are 22, that means there's double 2 and there's a 4.
And things like that happen.
So
right?
So you have 22, for example. It's a double 2 and a 4. Okay? So if you're too oversensitive, and 4 is about your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. If you have mentally some problems, or emotionally some problems for one experience, only one it takes, and can completely imbalance your physicality. And physicality, if you're mentally, emotionally, there is something is not addressed yet. Is not addressed. This is the whole thing. It's just to address it. in order to release it. If it's not addressed, then it will affect you on the physical, because there's mental, emotional going like this, and then there's no stability for your physicality. And what affect into the physical? Your vocation, your career, vocation, whatever you're doing, your finance, your relationships, your health. And sometimes can bring you divorce, sometimes bring you inexperience for somebody suddenly passed away. Whatever experience, doesn't matter. Anything physical. But the physical, nothing happened to us physically if it's not triggered by the emotions and the mental level. And then we have the fourth one, which is spiritual. We need to open ourselves up.
Right. So you mentioned relationships. So if my number is a certain number and my husband's a different number, can that affect the relationship then?
Yeah, when I do a relationship comparison, I have to do the first chart for the first partner, the second chart for the second partner, then I have a third chart to do the comparison between them. What soul agreement do they have to come to do together? You know, now sometimes we attract people for the wrong reason. They're a wrong contract. You know, this is why you see in many people they have 2 or 3 marriages these days. Easy, because they go fast into on a rebound without addressing the previous relationship, or sometimes the relationship if it's men they attract or woman. And how many times you heard people say, I keep attracting people, it's like I'm dating my mom or I'm dating my dad. We're not dating mom or dad, we're dating the feeling that was left from mom on us. That's called the law of attraction, gonna keep bringing you that attraction. So when you are into a pattern, into your relationship, there's always a pattern, similar circumstances keep showing up, that means there's something wrong.
Yes, I'm very aware of law of attraction and like attracting like and all that, but the numerology part behind it as well.
Because look,
wow.
Law of attraction works in a positive or negative. It's the same thing.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. But if I am living my life today in a negative way, that means the law of attraction is going to keep attracting negative to reflect what I am and who I am in those equations. So it's basically, if I change tomorrow to the positive, then the law of attraction will switch, and energy will switch like this, like turning a switch. That's all it takes, you know, and all coming because of that congruous in the energy. Now, why I changed from engineering? I didn't know why I went to engineering, electrical engineering. In electrical engineering, I learned about energy, vibration, and frequency, and we used to measure them. And that's what I use in all my numerology. Because we all have energy, and that energy vibrates in a different frequency, and that frequency could be either you're using positive or negative.
Right. I've heard about how you can put a guitar in one corner of the room and a guitar in the other, and pluck the B note, and then the B note will vibrate over there. But you're almost like talking about almost like a combination lock.
It is.
To get into the
But
the
you can switch your life in no time. In no time. I don't believe in healing to work on ourselves for so long. When somebody say, I've been working on myself for 40 years, I tell them, doing what? Seriously, you doing what for 40 years?
You don't have the combination lock.
You wasted 40 years.
Exactly.
You know, I do the healing work in 10 weeks.
The other thing I really got from your course was my dad and I had a really good bonding, and it was always a fear of speaking. And we'd go to Toastmasters together, and it was even just talking about it, I get kind of choked up. But it's one of those things that he didn't get to go up and speak at the courts and to speak up for what he really wanted from his mom that passed away, and he couldn't go up there to say anything. So this little grandfather clock, he had to just let it go. But anyways, it kind of really tore him up. So he said, just never be like me with speaking. So he'd always push me and want for me. So then I was talking about that to you, and I said, yeah, I always feel like my dad is with me, and you were saying, okay, that's great that he's with you, but you know what?
You have to let him go.
Sit him over there so that have him watching. Don't have him here with me.
Because you cannot keep him with you. You're holding into his own progression, but ask him, come be a guest. That's all. Simplify it. Because what you're doing eventually, you're only justifying your speaking to exactly what he missed. So in a way, directly or indirectly, consciously or unconsciously, you're not doing it for 100% for you.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And that's not the job you're supposed to be doing. You learn that experience from him to learn it for yourself, but not doing it for both of you. That's why you sign up with him, to be in the soul agreement.
So great, so great.
And the good part of it, I'm going to just mention you that, because his date of birth coincides exactly like mine. And this is why I was the one able to bring you the message, because I have easy access with him, because of the agreement that I have with him.
That's right. You had some actually things you had written down, I think, about.
When I do the comparison between two people, I have a soulmate connection with him.
I believe that.
So because of that soulmate connection, I can bring in a lot of him, because he can tap into my energy very easy because of the soulmate connection.
And I really sense that. And then when you came to the door, even, it's like you had this voice of that authority of, well, of course, Diane, and said it in the same way. And I went, what the heck? So it was just so incredible. And then I came to your workshop on his birthday and your birthday, right?
Yeah.
As well.
And he was there.
It was so incredible. But yes, your book, The Blueprint of Your Soul. Can people get a lot of this information that you've?
They can do it.
It won't be personal.
They can do it from here.
It's helpful
if they want to learn it from here. I have this book also online. They can do it with video and everything else, and they can come to this 3-day event. It's about the book, so it's anywhere of format somebody would like to learn, they can do it. So I make it as simple as possible.
And you usually have your courses yearly, is it, or?
I have 3 times in Vancouver.
3 times.
And I might be branching out to other cities now, and start giving it different cities. I used to do it 4 times in Vancouver, but I cut it down because I have other events to bring. I have a relationship event at one point for people who wants to get into the relationship aspect. This is the second level of that. So
you also do one-on-one.
I do a one-on-one in all different areas. For just a blueprint consultation, I do that. And I do consultation for personal, for relationship, for psychosomatic, which is including the body, and especially for people who have health issue, and for business. So each one is in, and I have a package for the 4 of them together, all of them together. So this is where they can be, whatever choice somebody needs.
And they can learn all about that on your website?
On my website, everything information there's for the numerology, tell you getting started. This is the first page they need to open, and then if they need the programs online, I have so many different programs online, and live event, they can go to live events. Media, they can listen to a lot of media I have sitting into the website, and also there's a blog. And recently, last year, I opened a podcast and called Numerology for Life, and 4 is the number 4. So it started within a year. I had over 13,000 downloads from that podcast. So without doing anything, eventually, so it started to go through iTunes and moved on from there. So there is a lot of ways they can reach for that. So either the freespiritcenter.ca, or freespiritcenter.org, whatever. And center, if the .ca, I write it TRE, the Canadian
TRE, Free Spirit Center. And you can find your podcast on that website. We can find
everything.
Yeah, and we can order your book through.
Or they can go to numerologyforlife.com.
Numerology for Life.
For
Numerology for Life.
.com, and this is a podcast. They can get there, or iTunes.
Oh, that's great, fabulous. Well, thank you so much, Joseph, for coming on the show. And I have so many more questions. I want to have you back.
This is why this is probably my shortest interview, because I can
Yes.
speak 12 hours a day.
Yes.
And at my event is 9 to 9 the first 2 days, and the last day is 9 to 5. So, and this is, I can talk even more than that. The event used to be 4 days even.
Wow.
There's a lot of information. We think we're all different. There's no two people. I haven't seen two charts the same way in 25 years plus. So we're all unique, and we need to start embracing
like a fingerprint
that.
Almost. Right?
It is.
Like
It is exactly the what you have on your hand. But everything changed, and most of the time we need to start paying attention, not to sabotaging ourselves.
Right.
Because we're doing a great job of that.
Exactly.
And stop blaming it on anybody. We're doing the job. So, and that's,
again, we could go on and on because it's so interesting, and I definitely want our listeners to know that they can reach you and get more information. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for coming all this way out
no
to
problem.
the rock.
Well, at least I know how it looks like now.
Yes. Oh, you've never been down?
No.
Wow, that's great. Okay, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And yes, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we look forward to seeing you at the next time.